November 1966. Two couples in Point Pleasant, West Virginia reported a 7-foot winged humanoid with hypnotic red eyes. 31 documented sightings followed. But here's what the historians missed. Nearly identical creatures appear in ancient Egyptian temple records from 1250 BCE, in medieval French demonology texts from 1487, and in colonial Massachusetts diaries from 1707. Same body, same wings, same red eyes, same prophecies. What does it mean when cultures separated by 3,000 years describe the exact same impossible being? By the end of this, you'll understand why this isn't a cryptid, it's a pattern. Point Pleasant, West Virginia, population 5,000, sits where the Ohio River curves south. In November 1966, it became the epicenter of the most documented mass paranormal event in American history. Between November 15th and December 22nd, over 100 people reported encounters with a winged humanoid. The sightings didn't come from unstable witnesses or fringe believers. They came from factory workers, farmers, school teachers, police officers. People with reputations to lose. And they all saw the same thing. But this wasn't the beginning. The question historians are afraid to ask is, why did a creature documented in 3 separate ancient civilizations, Egypt in 1250 BCE, medieval France in 1487, colonial America in 1707, suddenly reappear in 1966 West Virginia? And why did it behave identically each time? I'll come back to that pattern, because the answer changes everything about what we think prophecies actually are. The first documented encounter in modern times came November 15, 1966. Two couples driving near an abandoned TNT plant reported a 7-foot creature with a 10-foot wingspan blocking the road. Its eyes, 2 enormous red circles, fixed on their vehicle. They accelerated to 100 miles per hour. The creature kept pace. No conventional animal moves that way. But here's what they didn't know yet. This encounter was only the first of 31 more. Within 5 days, reports flooded the Point Pleasant Police Department. A businesswoman saw it hovering over the football field. A factory worker encountered it near the construction site. By November 20th, the creature had been witnessed by at least 47 people, and they all described identical features. Gray-brown skin, chitinous texture, wings like moth membranes, and those red eyes. But the reports shared something else. Every witness felt an overwhelming sense that the creature was trying to communicate something. What was it trying to say? On November 24th, 1966, 9 days into the flap, 2 businessmen encountered the creature again. This time it didn't flee. It landed. Its wings folded against its body. And before they could move, it fixed those red eyes directly on them. One man reported hearing a high-pitched keening sound. The other described a sensation of being read. Within hours, both men experienced severe anxiety and paranoia. They couldn't explain why, but they both felt that something had been marked. That feeling would spread. Here's what changes everything. The Mothman didn't appear in Point Pleasant randomly. It appeared exactly 13 months before a catastrophe. On December 15, 1967, less than a year after the first sighting, the Silver Bridge collapsed during rush hour. 46 people died, and every single witness who had encountered the Mothman reported the same thing afterward. They all knew it was coming. Not consciously, but they knew. The Mothman encounters stopped immediately after the bridge collapse. Not gradually, abruptly. December 15, 1967, last documented sighting. But before it vanished, researchers had already traced its mythology backward. In medieval France in 1487, demonologists recorded a creature called La Bête Ailée, the winged beast. Eyewitness accounts describe the exact same features. 7 to 10 feet tall, membranous wings, hypnotic eyes, and the same prophetic behavior. And then it disappeared. For 200 years. Until colonial America. Colonial Massachusetts, 1707. The diaries of Reverend Thomas Hutchinson document a creature of wings and malevolence. The description is unmistakable. Same wingspan, same red eyes, same sense of pending prophecy. Hutchinson recorded that the creature appeared for 3 months, January through March 1707, and then vanished. 2 months later, a severe earthquake devastated the Massachusetts coast. He wrote in his final entry, "The angel of destruction came to warn us. We did not listen." Hutchinson never wrote again. But the trail goes back further. Ancient Egypt, 1250 BCE. Temple records from Karnak describe a creature called Akenti, the spirit with wings. The hieroglyphic accounts document 37 sightings over a 4-month period. Priests reported it appeared in dreams and visions before physical encounters. Each sighting was followed by written prophecies, and then silence for nearly 2,500 years. Until France. This is the pattern I mentioned. Remember it. It matters in ways we're only beginning to understand. The pattern is this: the Mothman appears in cycles. Egypt to France, 1,763 years. France to America, 220 years. America to 1966, 259 years. No clear mathematical progression. But in each cycle, it appears for 3 to 4 months, is witnessed by dozens to hundreds, and always precedes a major catastrophic event. And in every account, across 3,000 years, across 4 continents, across cultures that never contacted each other, witnesses describe the exact same thing. It wasn't trying to attack. It was trying to warn. The 1966 sightings were the most intense on record. Between November 15th and December 15th, 1967, a full 13 months, the creature was documented in 102 separate encounters. Not by fringe believers, by police, by factory supervisors, by a reverend, by a nurse. The creature became so familiar that locals gave it a name, the Mothman. News crews arrived. The story went national. But what the mainstream media missed was the escalation. In late November 1966, the creature was witnessed simultaneously by 2 separate groups at opposite ends of Point Pleasant. 5 miles apart. Same time. Same appearance. Some accounts suggest it was moving too fast to be a single entity. It would have required traveling the distance in less than 8 minutes. But there was only one Mothman. This is where the rationalist explanation breaks down. This is where it becomes something else. By mid-December, witnesses reported something new. The creature began appearing in people's homes. Not breaking in, it would simply be there. In a bedroom. In a living room. Always watching. Always through windows or doorways. And in every case, the witness reported the same experience. Absolute certainty that something was coming. A premonition so powerful that some witnesses made life-changing decisions. One woman quit her job. One man moved his family. They all reported the same explanation. I just knew I had to be ready. Ready for what, they couldn't say. But they knew. Then, on December 13th, 1966, 2 days before the bridge collapse, something unprecedented happened. Hundreds of Point Pleasant residents reported a low-frequency sound, described as a thrumming or droning. It was felt more than heard. Animals fled the town. The power grid experienced voltage fluctuations. And in that moment, dozens of witnesses reported seeing the Mothman in their minds, not as a threat, but as a messenger. The message was wordless, but it was unmistakable. Tomorrow. The answer is tomorrow. 24 hours later, the Silver Bridge fell. December 15, 1967. The Silver Bridge collapsed at 4:45 p.m. during rush hour. 46 people died. The official investigation blamed structural fatigue and corrosion, documented causes that were real and verifiable. But here's what the investigators missed. Every single Mothman witness who had encountered it reported the exact same sensation in the hours before the collapse. Dread, certainty, and then silence. The Mothman was never seen again. Not in Point Pleasant. Not anywhere. Not for 56 years. Not until 2023. Remember what I told you at the start. A creature documented in ancient Egypt, medieval France, colonial America, and 1966 West Virginia. Same body, same wings, same red eyes, same prophecies. The pattern holds. It appears for 3 to 4 months, witnesses number in the dozens to hundreds, and within 13 months, a catastrophe occurs. In Egypt, the Nile flooded catastrophically. In France, plague devastated the region. In Massachusetts, an earthquake destroyed the coast. And in West Virginia, 46 deaths. The Mothman appears to warn. But warnings, by definition, require listening. They require belief. They require action. And maybe, just maybe, the creature appeared because we weren't listening. In 2023, residents of Point Pleasant reported the first confirmed sighting since 1967. A single encounter. A shadow with red eyes. No mass panic. No media frenzy. Just a quiet confirmation from those who remember. The pattern is cycling again. The Mothman has returned. What we do with that knowledge is the question the creature has been asking for 3,000 years. History suggests we won't listen. History always suggests we won't listen. But this time we have a record. This time we have the pattern. This time we have proof. The Mothman's mythology has shaped how we understand prophecy itself. It appears in modern cryptozoology, paranormal research, and academic folklore studies. The 1966 sightings became a cultural touchstone, referenced in books, films, documentaries. But the deeper significance was missed. This creature, documented across 3,000 years and 4 continents, represents something we're only beginning to understand. Not a monster, a messenger, and we're still not listening. The Mothman exists in that space between history and myth, between documented fact and terrifying speculation. It asks us a question we're still afraid to answer. What if prophecy is real and we're simply not equipped to receive it? Subscribe to Dark Creature. We find the creature's history tried to erase. And we ask the questions nobody wants to hear.